My son just opened the door and gave me a hug and said, "It's okay, Mom, it's not your fault." I am absolutely humiliated.
Y'all, she did not have a good 4th of July, so let's break all sides down of the party that wasn't a party because I had to get 3 different sides. Let's introduce our characters of the story first. Our OG poster is Nicole, Folk Medicine Remedies, and then we have the homeowners, Jake and Stasia, and then Jake's mama, Melissa. Nicole and her son get invited to a party that's not a party. We'll get into that in a second, but they are invited by Nicole's son's friend and his mom, and she makes a pretty little platter of food to bring as a thank you and offers to bring more if needed. But she walks in the house with the friend and the friend's mom and brother. So 4 of them total. Jake, the owner of the home, walks by her in the kitchen with an attitude, not saying anything to her. And then Jake's mama later on comes in and tells her that she didn't introduce herself to anyone, and Jake is flipping out outside about her being in there and no one knowing who she is. And the friend says she doesn't understand because they knew Nicole was invited, but she keeps being told that she shouldn't be in there. So she goes outside, and Stasia, the wife, gives her a little attitude along with the others, with one guy telling her, "Welcome to the neighborhood, see you later." So she leaves, completely embarrassed and unwelcomed at what she thought was a party she was invited to. Now, Stasia posted her side of the story and then quickly deleted it in her page, but she said this.
"We simply did not know who this person was that come into our house unannounced to not a party." Let's clarify, this was not a party. This was a get-together of people who knew each other, okay?
So they didn't know her, and she went in unannounced, and it was not a party. It was just a gathering of friends. She also says her husband called and apologized, but that Nicole didn't want to accept the apology. So let's hear what that apology said.
Or why didn't you introduce yourself? You were literally in the kitchen. I didn't know whose house I was at. I was just coming to a party I was invited to with 2 small children.
Well, I mean, I didn't know that. Nobody told me nothing about it.
But that's not true, because I just spoke to Samantha and she just told me that you guys were 100% aware that I was coming.
He said you were coming to drop the kids off.
So he knew she would be coming, but according to him, it was only to drop the kids off. But later in the call, she also asks why he didn't introduce himself to her when they were in the kitchen together, because she was not aware of who the homeowners were since she was invited by someone else. The rest of the call, he basically beat around the bush. But then we also get the side from his mama. So let's hear what she had to say.
I'm here to clarify this story. It's not all true. It was not a party. You weren't coming to a party. You must have been misinformed. This was a cookout for the neighbors. Well, we realized that a strange lady that we have never seen before is walking into Jake and Stasia's house. So I do what anybody would do. I go in to see what's going on. Said, well, this is making Jake a little uncomfortable. He hasn't met you. Y'all haven't been introduced. Do you all care to come outside?
So again, they state that she's in the house, not welcome to be in there. And they say that she was the only person in the house without the homeowners. But remember, when Nicole first arrived, Jake was in the house and he chose not to introduce himself and instead walked out and went and told his mama that there was someone in the house that he didn't know. Also, she said this was a cookout, not a party. Like, they like to reiterate that. So I went ahead and I asked Google, is a cookout considered a party? And this is what was said. So yeah, it was a party. There was a water slide and all that. But then we hear the conversation that Nicole had with the friend afterwards, and that is where we find out that the whole group knew that Nicole was coming, and they actually saw a picture ahead of time of the food that she would bring in as well.
And I even told them before you showed up, I showed Stasia the food you were bringing, so they knew that my kid and my kid's parents, or my kid's friends' parents were coming.
So did they know or did they not know? That's the question here. The mom did post a video from in the house that she says backs up her claims, but it actually makes them worse because her caption says it will only allow 10-second increments for her. But here's a quick scenario of how this would have been handled in my house. But of course, this is that man's home. He can do as he pleases.
Oh my gosh, are you Billy Bob's mama? It is so, is this the dish that you sent me the picture of? That looks so good. Let me introduce myself. I'm Susie Q. It is so nice to meet you at this party that we're having.